Negotiations continue in Congress on the new federal farm bill, and that has lawmakers like U.S. Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa focused on agriculture. That includes a Northwest Iowa business that's setting itself apart in the ag retail market. KTIV's Nick Reese explains.
Farming is in Grant Wells' blood. As a kid, he worked on his dad's farm near Fonda, Iowa, power washing hog barns. It's a task he says taught him organizational skills and the value of hard work.
If anybody in Iowa's been in one, you're going, wow, you know, the smell and the stink and the stuff everywhere. And so breaking that down, I broke it down into little goals, 4 pins at a time. So taking that, high school sports, you get into teamwork and kind of taking those things in rural Iowa and then into college really helped shape who I am.
Wells went on to study ag business and intern at a co-op in college. He combined that experience with his time on the farm to form Wells Ag Supply in 2009.
The first couple years, I thought I was this dynamic individual that could do it all, until I started humbling myself and writing down my weaknesses and bringing people in and seeing what they could do. Blew me away. They were doing jobs that I could do way better than I could ever dream of doing them.
Wells calls his business a, quote, unbiased retailer and looks to build trust with clients by putting them first. That includes a personalized approach to business, making all deliveries and doing consultations for customers. Through Wells Ag Supply and BW Fusion, which focuses on the nutritional sector of fertilizers, Wells has provided jobs for over 130 people. That success drew the attention of U.S. Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa, who visited Wells on her annual 99-county tour of the state.
Wanting to come out to rural Iowa, talk with a young business owner, someone who started a business and industry in their home community, presenting job opportunities for other young Iowans, but providing a valuable service and product to our farmers.
Just as humbling. It's nice to know that these people are real and they're willing to come to rural Iowa and talk to us.
Near Fonda, Iowa, Nick Reese, KTIV News 4.